My name's Isaiah Rivera. I have the world record for the highest vertical jump on the planet. And today, me and my coach are going to answer a bunch of our athletes' questions regarding their technique. Once a week, they got on a group call with us, and they can send us videos for us to analyze their lifting technique and jump technique. And you're about to watch an excerpt from one of these group calls. If you want to take part of these group calls, just go to THP Strength and sign up. Right now, you can try it for only $12 for your first month to see if you like it. Hope you enjoy the video.
Oh, I thought you were in socks for a second. So this actually isn't too bad. So what I'd want to see here is I would want to see you way more bent over, like leaning forward so that your torso is like this direction. Oh, I can mark this up. There's markups now. So really, really good jumpers, whenever they are approaching, they're already low. And this applies for pretty much every kind of jumper, whether it is someone that is a 1 foot jumper or a 2 foot jumper. A lot of the time they're already going to be low, almost in this configuration. Okay, this is a stick figure on my this is not perfect, but hopefully this gives you some context. So this configuration would allow you to be much, much lower to the ground. Your center of mass would be lower. And so what that allows you to do is, as you're coming into this position right here, or even prior to that, probably like this step again is where you should be in that configuration, is you don't have to lower your center of mass. So right now, your center of mass is really, really high, and you're going to have to lower it. So your center of mass, let's say it's like, I'll draw green so you can see. Your center of mass right now is like here, okay? Give or take, right? So you take all of your limbs, average their mass, and then you get it like an estimate of that. In this configuration, and it's about your hips. Um, that's not perfect, but we'll call it there. It's probably like around here, maybe like here. This configuration, if you were like actually close to the ground, would be like down here. Okay. Because you're lowering your torso a lot, which is going to lower your center of mass. The downside is sometimes that you have to overcome that mass because it has a torque, but being low is really, really important. So you do have to like balance those two variables out. Anyways, so then what's going to have to happen for you to get into position is you're going to have to lower your center of mass a lot, like, or jump for sure. I jump lower when I add a 3 or 5 step. I'm just going to watch this a few times through here. That makes sense. So I'm gonna place through another time so you guys can see, if you're an athlete, if you can see what he's doing wrong here. Okay, so you are uprighting, you're not using any of the momentum, and you're braking a ton. And so I can tell because here you're doing all the things that we just talked about. Look, you're already in a low configuration. Your torso stays down. Your head travels downward. Your block foot's in decent position. You're already low. So it's going to be a lot easier to jump high out of that configuration right here. You push really, really nicely. You're lowering really, really nicely. Your block foot's maybe a little late, but it's not bad. Like your best jump is right here because you're a very muscular jumper as well. So being lower instead of running too fast and pushing your center of mass up, like even here, your center of mass is coming up a little bit. That's going to make it really, really hard for you to jump high as someone who's very muscularly driven. So here, you're going to see the same exact thing. Look, completely upright. Like look at your torso. Your chest is completely upright. Look at your foot out in front of you. You're braking. The shin angle is always going to tell you the direction of the force, the ground reaction forces. So you can't tell when it touches perfectly, but we'll say it's here. That vector is backwards. So if I were to take my handy dandy little pen here, and here's your shin angle, right? So you've got a small little horizontal vector like this, and you've got a big vertical vector like this. So what that means is you're braking. This is a braking force. This vector right here, this ground reaction force, is slowing you down. And as you go through the approach, eventually it will reaccelerate. So obviously, when you get to like this point, now you're accelerating, but you're upright and you're braking a lot here. So now you're gonna try to reaccelerate, and you push your hips up, right? So look at your head. If I have a perfect jump when I'm analyzing them, I want to see the head go down, maybe like this. So if your head isn't on this line, if this is perfectly perpendicular, which it's not, but it'll give us a close. Oh, look at that. See, your eyes went over the line right there. That's not good. This is in line with your hairline essentially. Look at your eyes. They just went up really high right here. So now you're going to do the same mistake the other guy did, and you're braking a lot. Your foot is way out in front of you. You're going to have to deal with all that vertical momentum. You're not in a low configuration, so you're going to have to lower down and try to use the elastic energy. But you don't really use it. You just kind of blow through it. You don't get much out of your tendon and you lose a lot of energy. You're a very muscular jumper. You're probably going to respond really well to just getting super freaking strong and really, really high RFD. It's a timing thing as well. You need to be more patient. You're pushing up way too quick. You're trying to rush your ground reaction time, and that is just making it really bad. So start with the shorter ones and add steps as you need them. Don't force steps just because Isaiah takes more steps. Listen to your individual musculotendinous properties because that's really important. I'm just going to watch this through a couple of times. Hmm, that looked pretty good. That's really good. I don't really have much to say here, Francis. You're doing good, brother. Okay, notice, guys, what I just said. Look at the shin. See how it's vertical, at least, and definitely not out in front. He's got a slight lean forward, and watch his head go straight down to the ground. Rolls through this takeoff. Head comes straight down, arms back, block foot comes down, knee is in line with the other knee when the heel touches the ground. Block foot comes down internally rotated. Twists a little bit, but that's an acceptable amount. You want to minimize that as much as possible. Perfect lob, punches the dunk. Really good, Francis. There's really not much. The only thing I'd say is minimize the twisting on that front leg because that does leak energy. But other than that, dude, that was perfect. Okay, let's watch this one. Not bad. It's actually pretty good. So the first thing that I always want to see when I'm looking at the clean is the first pull correct? So I'm going to get my handy dandy little lines out here. When you power clean, the bar should move straight back. So from this angle, it'll probably look like it's going this direction. So the bar needs to go this way. Your torso angle should not change. So when you're here, your torso angle should be exactly where it was in the set position. Set position's good. Shoulders over the bar, knees over the bar, toes over the bar, right? So at the end of the first pull, when your legs are almost straight, your back should be parallel to this green line. Should be exactly the way it started here. Let's see if that happens. I already know the answer. It doesn't. Actually, it's not bad. Let's go a little further. Okay, so this is the issue. So you haven't cleared the knee yet. Your shins are not vertical. So at the knee, your torso angle should still be here. And instead you're uprighting. So your body is moving, you're leaning back. Your body is moving this way when you need to keep it in line with, you need to keep it forward. You should still have this back angle here, but you don't. Instead, you let your shoulders come up. So when the bar is at above the knee, the shins should be vertical. So your shin should be here, right? Your torso angle should be in line with where it started. So it should be about here. The bar should be very close. So like if this is your knee, the bar should be right there. And then what happens is as you upright, your knees will come forward. So yours do actually. It's just that you're not pushing your knees back far enough. You're not being patient before you jump. You're jumping here, maybe even starting here instead of starting to jump here. Okay. So that's why you're going to bounce out in front of you. You're going to jump forward, but you do a pretty good job of repositioning under the bar, actually. Like the reason the bar's so far forward is because the bar's coming out in front. You're not pushing your knees back far enough. And the bar is forced to bounce out in front because you're jumping when it's already in front. So it's going to come even further in front. The other thing is, I would try to let your arms bend back, like pull the bar I mean, it's the bigger issue is the first pull. So I'm not going to cue that yet. You're doing a really good job getting in position and saving it despite that. This is like 85% proficient though. Like it's safe and effective. But if you fix that, your max is going to go up like crazy. Oh, is this 245? Wait, 250. What is this? Oh, he's got shock. Oh, oh. Okay, that was lit. I'm gonna watch this again. This is like Louisville. Okay, so where you went, well, first I would want to you do a dynamic start, which is okay. So this is really your set position right here. So if this is your set position, then your back should stay this angle until you're at the end of the first pull, which remember is right above the knee. So let's go ahead and let's see if that happens. Knees back, knees back. So you're starting your first pull really early, like right here. I'd probably be a little bit more patient. You're getting pulled forward off the ground. I would keep your chest up a smidge more and get your hips down. So right here, you're starting your second pull. This isn't terrible. It's within the realm of acceptability, but you're just getting pulled really far forward on this, and you're having to use your low back quite a bit. So this is perfect, perfect double knee bend, perfect power position. Again, you're getting pulled forward a little bit, but it's not bad. So this is the end of your second pull. So from this point on, you should be pulling under. Each frame I move forward here, please tell me this will let me do it. You should be trying to get your hip under the bar. So what I am looking at is I am looking at your hip crease. I'm looking at three things. I'm looking at your elbow, I'm looking at your hip, and I'm looking at your knee. Now, every frame from here forward, I should see these three areas start moving into flexion. And if they're not, then I know that you're doing something wrong. Okay. So the elbow's flexing. The hip is not moved. The knee has not flexed. All right, the knee is starting to flex. The hip is not flexed at all. 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 Now, maybe it's starting. Okay, right here, you're starting. So you're wasting like 7 frames, right? So from here, you're done doing work on the bar. You're just pulling with your arms here, which when you shouldn't be. You should be focusing on repositioning, pulling your body around the bar, not trying to pull the bar into position. The bar has inertia. It's really heavy. You know, if that's looks like 255, then you need to reposition under the bar faster. So here, see how the bar is coming down already? That's why you're missing it. It's generating momentum. The bar's a little out of position. It's going to be in front of you. Your elbows aren't high. So now it's going to clobber you and you're not going to be able to stop that, right? So the bar should be hitting you on your AC joint, which is here, not out in front of you on your delts. So you need to get the bar against your neck and you need to get your elbows parallel to the ground. So the bar should be like here, not over here, making contact here and in your hand. That's the first thing. The pull is fine. I wouldn't even focus on that. The third pull under, the pull under is where you're screwing up. You're just too slow. And then uh, the other thing is your upper arm. So your upper arm is down like this. That's bad. We want the upper arm up here so that, and the hand open and on the AC joint. This is a really weak position. You ever try to hold 245 or 255 in your hands with your elbows down below your chest? It's almost impossible to use anything other than your upper body to stop it. And the other thing is you're making this an upper body workout. You're not making it a lower body workout now because now your arms are the limiter, not your core stability, not your legs, not your eccentric force generating capacity. That's not what we want. You might get more weight up. Eventually, you could probably do this if you just muscled it. But yeah, you missed that just because you didn't get it up in the right position. If you get into the right position on the catch and you're faster on the catch, you will easily get that weight. But that's big boy weight. You're applying a lot of force to the ground. That's what we care about. So good job on that. Let me see. It looks like you have another one here. Oh, it's a dunk. Yes. Wait, is this the Cardinals? Like the Cardinals? I'm so confused. Oh, really nice. And he's got a Duke shirt. Okay, so you would need to be, you're like Josh. You're super similar to Josh's issues. You're not using any of the power that you have. Like you have way more power in your legs. You're just not really using it right now. So one is, I'd want to see you get your arms a little bit more back. That's one. You're planting in the right spot, but you're really, really vertical. So like here, your center of mass is really high, like really, really high. I mean, oh, whoops. Oh shit. Oh, whatever. I'll just keep drawing. So this is your configuration right here. You're really, really vertical. Your arms are here. Here's your other arm right here. Okay, this is your other side of your pelvis. So that tells me that your center of mass is like probably around like, I mean, here's your head here. So your center of mass is probably like here. That's really, really high. So that means like Isaiah's is probably like here. And that might not look like a lot, but that's really significant. And Isaiah would keep lowering down here. You're probably going to be pretty flat, which means you don't have your center of mass low enough. And that's going to mean it's really hard for you to generate force. That's like a catcher throwing a ball versus a windup. You need time to push upwards. Even though everyone was told time is the enemy, it's only the enemy when you have perfect technique. So look, yep, your hips actually, so they travel down a little bit, but not nearly as much. And the angle kind of biases this, so it's hard to tell. But you're not lowering until like here, then you're lowering, which is a really weird strategy. So you lose a lot of energy right here. And that's going to make it difficult for you to use all the power that you have in your legs. Because I can tell your legs are super powerful. So I would tell you to be lower, be leaning in, stay forward. Watch Josh Rubel's videos as well. Because Josh, we did a lot of work on that exact issue. Another cue is roll downward into the ground. Don't push hard until the penultimate step. Long jump off the penultimate step. Those are cues that work for him. All right, so same thing here. Let's see back angles here. I would want to see tension. You're yanking it, so keep some tension in the bar. Like stand up a little bit and then pull hard. So get the bar, get a little tension in your hands and your arms before you start lifting off the ground. But let's see. Oh, this is good. Okay, you got a little bit of butt slide. Actually, no, that's pretty good. Knees come forward. Oh, oh, beautiful. Reposition, reposition, reposition. Beautiful. Dude, that was great. You know, that's awesome. Not really much to say here. That's perfect. That's really, really, really good. Let me watch it in full speed. Yeah, you're maybe just yanking it off the floor a little bit, but that's really good. You don't need to change anything there. Just keep go put more weight on the bar. That's what I'd tell you. Okay, so hips higher. Here, I can already tell you that. 3 point. Oh, pushing way better though. That's really, really good. So I would want to see Jonathan, you're leaning into the track life. All right. So, couple cues that I like to use here. This knee should be just behind this elbow, which it is, right? The hips should be higher than the shoulders, so that's your biggest issue. Right now, you have too much flexion in this front leg and too much flexion in this back leg. So if you get the hips higher, then you'll be in a slightly better position. You have really long arms, so that also could be why it's a little bit difficult, but I would still want to see the hips a bit higher. So the front leg should be like a roughly 90 degrees. I can't see from this angle, and this leg should be like 130. So this leg is definitely way too flexed. And when you push out of this position, if your hips should probably be like up here actually, and your shoulders should be like down here. And so you'd kind of be in like this configuration. I can't even do it because I can't get it from the side. That's a terrible rendition. I did my best. But what should happen is when you push out of this, your shoulders should more or less move this direction. Now, a lot of the time, what's going to happen is guys are not fast enough to do that. Actually, I would even say maybe it's your hips higher and shoulders lower. So walk this hand out a little bit. And what happens with really fast guys is their shoulders, like they're kind of like in this configuration, and I'll see if I can draw it real quick. So I'm trying to think of how this would look. Their hips are like here. Oh no, it's too low. Their hips are like up here, and then the front leg is like 90, and the back leg is like 120 or something like that. I want to say there's like a foot or two behind the front leg. This is a terrible, terrible rendition of this. But yeah, it's probably more like that. Where's my eraser? Something like that. So their hips are higher than yours, their shoulders are lower, and that lets them get a lower entry out of the blocks. That allows them to push out more aggressively. And when they do, I always look at their shoulders, and their shoulders will come up just a little bit. Like I'm talking, it's like probably like 2 inches, their shoulders will move up. But then their shoulders will move forward like a shit ton. So when they push out, you'll see like if you watch their shoulder axis, their head is like probably, like somewhere over here or something like that. Their shoulder axis will project out this direction. So it comes up a little bit and then it just mostly projects out to be able to do that. And that's how I know if someone's using the start position correctly. They'll generate a shit ton of horizontal momentum without popping up in the air too much. So for you, that does, let me see here. So that's happening and you're getting the foot down pretty quick. Probably not as much horizontal momentum as you would like. But if you fix the start position, like you open up your stance a little bit and get your hips a bit higher, I think that that's going to help you a lot. That's good. That's good. That's a little soft, but that was like the end of the run. You're like letting out. This is a 3-step stride. So I would want to see a little bit more aggressive step 1 and 2. Don't rush those so much. Your rhythm's maybe even a little bit too fast on that. Video reviews are way more fun for me, not gonna lie. Alrighty. Really, really, really good. The only thing, oh, perfect catch. The only thing you're doing, Amruth, is you're letting the bar get out in front of you and you're early arm bending. So see this early arm bend right here? So you're not going to be able to get away with that with really heavy bars. If you want an early arm bend, you can't. I mean, it's okay, but you got to keep that bar closer to your body. It should be against your thigh. I wouldn't change too much. Honestly, I would just put more weight on the bar. I need to see what it looks like so I can see what's happening in the long term. Out of my 5 gym days, do I sacrifice one sprinting since I don't have enough space in the gym? You can, but I would prefer if you didn't. John Grice, is it one size fits all when it comes to the aesthetics of lifting technique, not excusing depth or eccentric concentric phase? Can a squat be more effective if it doesn't look technical compared to a professional power lifter? Ooh, that's a good question. I wouldn't even look at a professional power lifter. I'd look at a professional weightlifter, honestly. And you should be able to get it as close as possible without like it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be as close as possible while considering individual anthropometry or mobility issues. That's probably the shortest discrete answer I could give you on that one. Oh, not bad. Okay. Okay, super muscled here, but you look like a tank, bro. All right. Let me see frame by frame here. This is good. Nice flat back, rolls forward, dynamic start position. Okay, so you need to get on the set position, you're too vertical. See how the bar is moving forward here? That's bad. The bar should move backward off the floor. Like these first few frames, the bar should be moving towards you, and instead it's moving out in front of you. So now it starts moving back here, but you're kind of out of position. So what's happening here is you're doing butt slide, and that's happening because your start position was too vertical. So you're trying to reposition yourself, but it's a little too late at this point. So your back angle should stay. Remember, like that. Oh shit, that was a terrible line. All right, let's cheat. Where's this one? Okay, so your back angle should stay like this. And so what's going to happen is as you push the knees back, so remember you're probably going to end up like, I don't know, something like this or something. Um, because you're too vertical in the set position, this is probably where your second pull is going to end, right? So your shin is vertical. Well, that's still not going to be right, but you're probably going to end like this. I don't know. This is tough to draw. But what's going to happen is your hip is going to shoot up in the air as you try to get the knees back, and that's because your set position was a little bit off. So look, right, and you can see that happening. So now look right here, your shoulders come forward, your hip comes up while you're pushing the knees back. You can see right here. See how your hips come up? That's bad. We don't want that to happen. That's only happening because your shoulders should have been in this position. Like your set position, back angle should have been here from the start. Instead, you were a little bit vertical. So now you're having to dump forward to get into position at the end of the first pull. So from here, um, now you start your second pull and your legs are the bar is a little bit too far on front. So right here it should be against your thigh. That's one. And then when you're jumping, it's happening a little bit too late. I would probably start jumping here for you. Instead, you're now hinging. upward, but your knees aren't coming forward. So you're kind of forcing it. You're forcing the second pull position, and that's just mistiming things and making it a little less fluid, but you are getting a second pull. So I would just cue, keep the bar closer to you, let the bar move back toward you, get your hips higher in the set position, and then here I want you to jump right here. Jump in this position. Don't try to get into the second pull position or into the double knee bend. Just jump. Just jump as hard as you possibly can from this position. See, because now you're adding this extra work. You're trying to push the knees back too far, and then you're waiting to let the knees come forward. So just push your knees back till you feel a good stretch and then jump. Make it fluid. Here, this is really good though. Second, you are in really good position. The bar does float out in front here though, a little bit. So again, I'd want to see a jump and you're shorting the second pull. And so what's happening is your knee's not getting fully extended, your hip's not getting fully extended. So then the bar is out in front, but you do a really good job repositioning. Your pull under is really, really good. Bar is in generally the right spot. The only downside is your elbows have to be up and your hand has to be open. So right now, you're doing what Jarrett was doing. So you reposition here, right? And you stand up in the right position, but the bar should hit you in this position. See how your elbows, the bar touches, like the bar, your elbows should be up before that bar makes contact. So you make contact, catch with the elbows down, and then you stand up and bring the elbows up. So there's a lot to work on there. You're really, really strong. So don't be afraid to just use bar cycling. Like just use the bar and work on some of those cues and just try to make it fluid. Focus on pushing the knees back, work on that set position. You don't need a lot of weight to improve your technique. You're really, really strong. Okay, so this one, beautiful, beautiful. So this is way better. Shoulders forward, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Jump, just jump right here. Don't keep pushing the knees back. No. So see when your knees stop extending right here, this is when you need to start jumping right here. Instead, you start uprighting and your knees come back and then you're jumping. But this is way better. That's beautiful though. That's way better relatively speaking. Yeah, so your arms are really, really long. So I would probably go a little bit wider with your grip, but that was way better than the power clean. You had the set position better and you had a more aggressive jump, which meant that the bar had better acceleration on it. So yeah, that was good.
More than
You
easy
want
straight.
them, you want them to be like a soft bend. You want to finish at a soft bend. So for you, if I were to cue, like you don't want to lock them out. So right here, you shouldn't ever see the legs like stop moving. Okay. Like your knees should never stop moving in one or two directions. It should either be moving back on the double knee bend or moving forward. See how this frame, nothing's happening?
Yep.
It's
Okay.
bad. That tells me that you're thinking and you're trying to volitionally get into the second pull. So you're like, oh, you're almost like doing a pause. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna pause for a second, and then you're like, I'm gonna do my second pull. So I would just say yellow light, green light. Don't go yellow light, red light, green light. That's what you did there. That's the bigger issue. Just think yellow light, green light, or smooth acceleration. The bar should be accelerating the whole time. Right here, you're basically doing a pause. Now, it might be okay for you to practice pauses just so you learn the positions, but during an actual clean pull, you don't want to do that. And it's good if I see you thinking it means I know you're trying, so it's not a bad thing. It means you're trying to hit positions and you're working really, really hard to do it. But I would want it to be a more smooth acceleration. Like if I watch Isaiah power clean, you will see that his legs pretty much never stop. His knees are never in that paused position. There's always a some sort of a acceleration. Let me see if I can find. I gotta let Isaiah flex on everyone. No, I'm just kidding. This is not gonna let me do frame by frame here. Okay, so see his knees are almost all the way back right here. He transitions so fast into that, right? Like you can tell, and this is at a really big load. Pause. All right, so bar is right over the ball of his feet. Shoulders are in front of the bar. Bar is really, really close to his leg. This is pretty much as far back as his shoulders are going to go. For you at that point, your knees are not quite as far back, and you're starting to upright a little bit. Could be limb length, but you want to keep the shoulders over the bar. You almost want to feel like you're leaning over the bar. And then as soon as he like is starting to pass the knee, watch how his knees just whip because he's literally right here. He's saying, "I'm going to jump as hard as I possibly can," and the knees move in front of the bar super fast. The only way I can do it is like full speed. You can see it. They move back and they immediately move forward. When they're all the way back, they start repositioning. So it's like as soon as you feel that max stretch in the hamstring, as soon as you feel it reach the peak tension, that's when you cue jump. That's kind of like an internal sensational one. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, VK, dude, change nothing. This is amazing. That first one was beautiful. Really, really, really good. So notice how he's low here, guys. He's so low that he's gonna actually upright a little bit, but I'm okay with it because you have to reposition vertically. The only thing I would say, VK, is drive your knee. Try not to let your leg kick out that much. Try to keep your knee tucked in this position a little longer. Block foot. I'd want to see the block foot a little further out in front as well. You're not twisting, which is actually, if you're not mobile enough to do that, this is fine. Oh yeah, this is really good, honestly. Bro, yeah. You look like a volleyball player that flies. I'm not gonna lie. This is beautiful. You're doing a really, really good job here. Like you're transferring all your energy yeah, you're a volleyball player. I could tell. I was like, he looks like a volleyball player. So that's beautiful for volleyball. You're already low coming in. You're already in position to jump high and you're leaking no energy. So I can tell you're not twisting right here. That tells me that you're not leaking any energy. You are transferring all that energy vertically. Really, really well done. I don't even know if I would cue the knee because you're probably not going to be able to, you're probably not going to be able to fix it. I hope that was helpful for you guys. And we will definitely be back here next week to do this again. So I'll see you guys then.